All right. Frank-12-I2W. I'm having trouble understanding how to solve this kind of equation. And when I do get it after my teacher teaches for about 2 hours, I forget how to do the entire thing when she gives me a whole new problem. I also can't seem to find any videos on YouTube to help me understand this. Is it okay if you give me some practice problems and example problems after you teach it? No, sorry, I can't do any of that. Um, but thank you for reading this and hope you have a nice day. Well, I am having a nice day, and thank you for being that. I don't like your X's just because I didn't initially recognize them to be X's, so I'm going to go and fix that. Um, but it says solving elimination and substitution. Immediately when I look at this problem, I think about solving this via elimination. So the answer is going to be the exact same. It might be a little bit more messy in a substitution or an elimination. I'm not really sure, but you're going to get the exact same answer. But I am going to work through solving this through elimination. And if I was going to do elimination, the first thing I would want to do is get rid of this radicals. All right. So when I want to do elimination, I want the same coefficient for my variable x to be the exact same, one positive, one negative. So now I got to think of, well, what do I need to multiply this square root of 7 divided by 2 to be the exact same thing as square root of 7 divided by 4? And you recognize I just need this 2 to be a 4. So what I'm going to want to do is multiply by 1/2. Okay. So, but I also want it to be negative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply your top equation by a negative 1/2. You got to make sure you multiply it by everything. So when I go ahead and do that, I'm now going to get a negative square root of 7 over 4. And then let's see, negative 1 times 2. So that's going to be our x. And that's going to be a minus a 2 over 6. What am I doing? Let's write it like this. Minus a 2 over 6y. And that's going to be equal to a positive 3/2, right? Because negative times negative is going to be positive. My bottom equation is going to remain exactly the same, so I'm not going to do anything there. I'm just going to rewrite it. 5y equals a negative 7. Okay, so now you can see my coefficients are exactly the same. One's negative, one's positive. So now I can just go ahead and add. So I go ahead and add. Those are going to go to 0x, which is just 0. Then over here, I basically have let's see, that can reduce down to a 1/3. 1/3 y minus 5. So how are we going to do that? So we have a negative 1/3 minus a 5. Well, again, remember, guys, you can rewrite this 5 as 5 over 1 and then multiply it by a 3 over 3, right? So technically, it's a negative 1/3 minus a 15 over 3, which is equal to a negative 16 over 3. So I have a negative 16 over 3y, and then some more fractions, okay? And then, so now I have a 3/2 plus a negative 7. So again, I'm going to convert that 7 to a 7 over 1, multiply it by a 2 over a 2. And so now let's see what I'm going to get here. So that's going to be a negative 14. So this is a negative 11 over 2. So my negative 16 thirds times y is going to equal to a negative 11/2. Okay, now to solve for y, all I simply need to do then is to multiply by the reciprocal, right? If you want to get rid of a fraction, you want to get it to 1, just multiply the fraction by your reciprocal. So I will multiply this by a 3 over negative 16, and a 3 over negative 16 on both sides. That's going to now give me y equals, and then over here, this is going to be a negative 33 over a negative 32. So y is equal to a 33 over 32. Could have just done that the first time. Okay, so we got 1, right? Now again, remember, solving a system equation, we need the y and we need the x, right? Okay, so we got y and x. Y equals 33 over 32. Now what we got to do is got to plug it in. So which equation do we want to plug it into? I'm going to plug it into this top equation because the top equation, you can see, guys, already has a fraction, right? So let's go ahead and plug it into there. Okay. So, y equals 33 over a 32. 33 over 32. So let's go and plug it in. So I'm going to have let's draw a line here. So I have a square root of 7 over 2 x plus a 2/3. Now I'm going to insert in this 33 over 32. That's what my y is equal to, right? Rather than using y, I'm using this value. And then that is going to equal a negative, that equals a negative 3. Okay, so now let's just solve for x. So I have a square root of 7 over 2x. This is going to be plus a 66 over 3. So that's going to be 30, 60. Oh, wait. What am I doing? These can reduce, right? 3 over 33, that can reduce to an 11. 2 over 32, that can be 1 over 16. So this reduces to an 11 over 16 is equal to negative 3. Now let's subtract 11 over 16 on both sides. So I have the square root of 7 divided by 2 is equal to, I got more of this math. So we got a negative 3 minus an 11 over 16. Again, rewrite your 3, ladies and gentlemen, over 1, and then multiply it by 16 over 16 on the top and 16 on the bottom. So that's going to be a 16, 32, 48. So that's a negative 48 minus an 11 over 16, right? That's kind of a box from on there. All right, so that's going to be a negative 59. Wow. So this still has an x there. Okay, so square root of 7 divided by 2. Square root of 7 divided by 2x is equal to a negative 59 divided by 16. And then again, to solve for x, I'm going to multiply by 2. Yeah. So then I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So x is equal to a negative 59 divided by 16 times the reciprocal of this fraction, right? Which is 2 over the square root of 17. That is going to divide by to 1 over 8 and then rationalize the denominator. You get a final answer of negative 59 square root of 7. Why did I write 17? This is where those stupid mistakes start to come in. Negative 59 square root of 7 divided by 7. Whew, wow, there you go. That is your x and your y solution.